You've come to a bank and you want to check a facility based on your salary. And you want the facility for 10 years and you're 55 years old. You're retiring in the next 5 years. So so the bank will tell you no. You yourself you're retiring in 5 years. Why do you want to? Why will you get the money after retirement?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Halal Charity TV, the media arm of Halal Charitable Trust, a registered non-governmental, non-profit making organization based in Mtwapa. We work with the community for the community. And today, alhamdulillah, we are joined by the head of Islamic Banking, ABSA Bank, and we are going to discuss about Riba banking. Welcome to the program, inshallah. Can you introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Tego Olasa, the head of Islamic Banking at ABSA. I'm happy to be here today in Mtwapa to share a little about Islamic finance in general and maybe a few things about Riba. Thank you, and thank you for hosting me, brother.
Shukran. Welcome. My first question is, what is Islamic banking? And how different is it from conventional banking?
Thank you very much. I hope English is the language that you use.
No, we can mix both English and Kiswahili.
For the audience, in case maybe mwingine atakuwa haelewi Kiingereza vyema, tuchanganye kwa Kiswahili inshallah. Islamic banking is, first of all, it's banking. But it's a banking that adheres to principles of Sharia. Ile banking tunavyojua zamani. Manake before the year 2005, when ABSA Bank brought in Riba, before 2005, there was no Islamic banking in Kenya. So banking is governed by some sets of law, the Banking Act of Kenya and other relevant laws. So Islamic banking, in addition to those sets of law that govern the conventional banks, we now bring in the Sharia, the principles of Islamic finance that now govern. So practically speaking, Islamic banking, one, there's some prohibitions. That's the second definition. For instance, in Islamic banking, we say there's prohibition of riba. We don't have riba or interest. I'll talk about it. There's prohibition of gharar. That is excessive uncertainty. Gharar is a combination of uncertainty, speculation, ambiguity, ignorance, deception. And then we also have prohibition of dhulm. And then there has to be presence of an asset that backs everything, then profit and loss sharing principle. But now over and above the comments of Sharia, which says Islamic banking is banking that adheres to Sharia, prohibits interest, we say that Islamic banking differs from the other banking because Islamic banking is, all banks are tied to an economic system. We have 5 economic systems globally. We have capitalism, we have communism, we have socialism, we have traditional system, and Islamic system. The Islamic economic system, or Iqtisad Islamiyya, is different from the other economic system because, number one, it draws its principles from Quran and Sunnah. Secondly, in Islamic economic system, the core deliverable of the government, because economic system is owned by the government, the core deliverable of an Islamic economic system is distribution of wealth. In capitalism, it's production. That's why they focus on producing more, subsidizing. In Islamic system, we say demand will drive production. What human beings don't want to do on their own is distribution of wealth. That's why when Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, the people are refusing to pay zakah. Zakah is one of the tools of wealth distribution in Islam. The wealth moves from the rich to the poor in an allowed manner. That's why Abu Bakr was saying, leave alone the camel that used to give when Rasul was alive. If you hold back even the rope with which you used to bring the camel, I'll declare war on you. I'll fight you. Umar ibn Khattab was saying, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin, they are saying, La ilaha illallah. Then now, zakah is part and parcel of Islam. So the wealth distribution is what the government in Islamic system is supposed to enforce. In every economic system, now there are enablers or tools that make it what it is. And there are 5 tools. Tool number 1 is banking. Tool number 2 is insurance. Tool number 3 is pension. Tool number 4 is capital market, and the fifth tool is non-bank financial institutions such as SACCOs. So banking system is actually a small subset within the larger economic system. So the first thing about Islamic economic system, we say distribution of wealth is number 1. Number 2, in Islamic system, we say lahu ma fi samawat wa ma fil ard wa ma baynahuma ma tahta thara. Everything belongs to Allah. We are here inni ja'ilu fil ardi khalifa. We just here as custodians. Number 3, in Islamic economic system, money is not a commodity. That's why Islamic banking now borrows its DNA. The DNA of Islamic banking is halallahu al-bay' wa harrama riba. Allah has permitted trade and has prohibited riba. By permitting trade, it means we can only buy and sell goods or services. We cannot sell money. So in Islamic economic system, money cannot be treated as a tool of trade. Sio bidhaa, pesa sio bidhaa. You can sell money, but for free. I give you 1 million, you return 1 million. But now I'm allowed to buy this table and sell to you at 1 million. We can buy this set together on Musharakah. I sell my share in the set to you at a profit. I can rent this house to you on Nijara, Sherala. So where Islamic banking now differs from the other one is in the other one, money is treated as a commodity you can buy and sell at a profit called riba. In Islamic economic system, ahalallahu al-bay', you can only buy and sell goods or services. If you look at Kenya as a country, for instance, any Islamic bank that wants to do business, the first thing they do before they do any launch is go to National Treasury. We get a waiver from Section 12A and 12C of Banking Act. Section 12A prohibits banks from doing business of wholesale, retail, manufacturing, export, import, all types of this normal business. Section 12C prohibits banks in Kenya from doing business of real estate, buying, selling houses and lands, unless they're using it for their own premise. So by getting a waiver from those sections, in essence, it means Islamic banks have been converted to normal trade. That's why Islamic banking, sometimes it is not banking, it is just trade, because Allah said
Buying and selling.
Buying and selling. So just that now, because it's been done by banks, it's called Islamic banking. But in reality, if you look at it, if you remove the deposit taking part, Islamic banking is not even banking, it's just normal trade. So what makes it different? Many things, we can talk about it for days and days, but in brief.
Okay. Is this only for Muslims or even for non-Muslims?
Islamic banking is it's a product.
So anybody can come?
Anyone can consume it. The product is for everyone. However, for a non-Muslim neighbors, brothers, sisters, in-laws, this country, for them, they don't have that religious belief that prohibits them from the ongoing system. Although there are more prohibitions about interest in the Bible than the Quran, especially if you look at the Old Testament. But the way it is right now, non-Muslim brothers don't really. So the product is made within the tenets of Sharia, like we are saying this and this, these are the rules. However, it's for everyone. Actually, one of the studies that I was reading shows that 20% of customers in Islamic banking are non-Muslims. It's very prominent. Recently, I was called upon actually to advise one of the circles owned by a church. Today in the morning, I got a call from another circle owned by a church. They want to create Islamic banking product. They said some members want it because there are some things which are attractive. For instance, predictability. If you take a Murabaha facility, we buy you a stock for your shop at 3 million. You want to pay over a period of the next 3-4 years. Even if there's volatility in the market for interest-bearing loans, when central bank increases the rate, your loan goes up. But for Murabaha, it is fixed. Because of that, some non-Muslims want it. Secondly, in case for some bad reason, bad luck, you default, the conventional loan, you will be charged a default rate. And then default is added to the loan. And then interest is applied on the loan, plus the defaulted interest, plus the default.
So the amount goes up.
Keep going up. But if it's in Islamic banking, even in the cases where you are defaulting willingly, because you'll be punished by being given a penalty. However, that penalty will not be added to the loan. It goes to a charity account somewhere, just to be given to the poor, such organizations like Halal Charity TV. So you realize in the end, if one person is in Islamic banking and the other is in conventional, they take the same amount, saying, let's say interest rate is then the profit rate is the same. They both for some bad luck, they both default. The one in conventional will pay much higher, almost double what you took, or even triple. The Islamic one will just pay slightly higher because of the financial penalties that will be charged just to induce him to pay. However, in Islamic banking, if you're defaulting because of something beyond your ability, then there's no penalty.
Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that about the loans. What products do you have? Other banks, they have savings account, fixed deposit, current account. What does Islamic banking have?
Islamic banking actually has the same products that we have in other side of the bank. Mm-hmm. What we've done is when Islamic banking came, products were developed from two angles. The first angle was to replicate existing products because the existing products were driven by need. There's some people want to buy a car, we bring in asset-based finance. This is there on the conventional, we make it Islamic. Some people want to buy a house with a mortgage on the conventional, we make Islamic mortgage. The other one, they're selling the money on interest. On Islamic side, we bring in the mission partnership, we co-own the house. So the first is every product from current account to fixed deposit account where you invest your money, to children's account, to students' account, to the personal accounts, all types of facilities from working capital to personal facilities, to mortgage to buy land and properties, to buy boats, motorcycles and cars. Every need that is there under the sun, there's a product. In fact, in Riba, we even went a step ahead, and we brought in digital facility. So today you can borrow on mobile from Timiza Riba. Mm-hmm. We've used Tawarruk contract. If there's time, maybe we can talk about Tawarruk and how it works. You can borrow today 500 shillings, 300, just an emergency. And then secondly, we have also gone ahead and created Sharia compliant credit cards. So what we are doing is we are trying to entrench a principle. There's a principle called no special favors, no barriers in Islamic finance. We don't want to favor anybody more than the others. We just want to make it halal. Secondly, we don't have any barriers. Barriers mean whatever is there on the other side, let's give those who are on the Islamic side so that they don't lack anything. So, kusawazisha kila mtu in a Sharia compliant manner. So the products that are there today, if you walk to, let's say, any ABSA branch in Mtwapa, in Nairobi, anywhere, Garissa, Wajir, you walk in, you want to open a personal account, you'll be given a personal account. You want to open an account for children, the junior accounts are there. You have some liquidity, you want to save for a long time, fixed deposit, where you save with us, and then you earn some profit. So the products are there, and largely it's replicated, but now we create some additional products which are not on the conventional side. For instance, the Hajj and Umrah savings account. Some people want to save for Hajj, piecemeal. Then now we create for your Hajj and Umrah account. There are some like in ABSA we have Sultana for the Muslim women where now we'll separate them from where the men are being served. So those products are not there on the other side, but we've created it purely for the Islamic.
So maybe you can go us through this product, the Murabaha, the Musharakah. What do they mean?
Yeah, thank you very much. First, before maybe when talking about the product, there's one confusion that is there in Islamic banking and finance sphere. People confuse between a Sharia contract and a product. Product is something that solves people's need. Mm-hmm. For instance, I want to buy a house. The product that I need is a mortgage finance. I want to buy a car. The product that I need is an asset leasing-based finance product. But now those products that are there are made Islamic by a Sharia contract. The code, the act. In Sharia, everything is a contract. You get married, that's a contract of nikah. You get employment, hiyo ni ijara, umeajiriwa. Ndio maana tunasema umeajiriwa. Ukiajiriwa mwisho wa mwezi unapata mushahara, because shahar is a month in Arabic. At the end of the month you get mushahara. So you're buying in a supermarket something, or in a shop, that is musawama. That's a bargain sale. You bargain, you say, I want this much and this in the shop. Right now, tulikuwa hapo halal wholesalers, lam wholesalers, we're in a halal supermarket. So in lam wholesalers, when you go there to buy, you're doing musawama. So everything that we are doing is a contract. So it's a product. Just to give an example, one product can have different contracts. For instance, if I want to come to a bank to buy a house, that one house can be sold to me through diminishing partnership contract. Musharakah mutanaqisa. How does it work? Musharakah mutanaqisa, there are many types of musharakah. This one is musharakah where one partner diminishes out. You come to the bank, the house is 10 million, you only have 2 million. You bring your 2 million, we do whatever we do behind the scene, we bring the 8 million, we form shirkatul mal. We put our money together.
You become partners.
Yes. Then now we buy the house together. Then we co-own the house, we become shirkatul milk.
Different percentages.
Yes, your share is 20%, the bank's share is 80%. Now you buy the bank's share slowly. That's why it's called diminishing partnership. So the bank diminishes also the partnership, kidogo kidogo, until we leave the partnership. So yes, I either sell my share to you on profit, or I lease my share to you because you're the one using the house anyway. That's the same house. Secondly, for instance, you want to add another floor to this building. The bank can buy you the materials on Murabaha. Murabaha, how does it work? We buy the materials, add our profit, sell it to you. So unajijengea nyumba yako, you pay your own labor, na sisi tunakudai pesa za material. We can build the house for you on ijara muntaha bitamlik. Ijara ending in ownership. We build the house, we lease it to you. So you lease as you own. So at the end of the lease period, we can unilaterally give you as a gift, what we call finance leasing. We can even build you the house on istisna. Istisna is an Arabic word which means to order someone to construct something. So we bring in, you tell us, I want a 3-bedroom house. You detail the design, so you bring in a contractor anajenga. Kishamaliza kujenga, now we transfer ownership to you, unalipa pesa yetu. So those are just 4 products. So product and contracts are different. Murabaha is not a product, Musharakah is not a product. These are a Sharia contract. Na ziko na masharti zake in the books of fiqh. Banks just found them and used them. They are not made for the banks, they are not made by the banks.
Sasa, like a savings account. I come to your bank, I open a savings account. In conventional banking, they are paid interest on the savings account. What does a client get from Islamic banking? In terms of savings account?
In terms of savings, first in banks, accounts are divided into 3. We have a transaction account, savings account, and investment accounts. All banks, Islamic, conventional, all banks. So according to the law of the country in Kenya, 2 types of account must earn the customer a return. The investment accounts and the savings account. You must pay them something. Transaction accounts such as current account, those ones, it's not. So for investment and savings account, Islamic banks also pay profit. And here is how it works. In conventional banking, they take your money, lend it to other people on interest. The interest that they earn using your money is what they pay you. So the source is haram, the money becomes haram. Islamic banking, you bring your money, we take from maybe a savings, we take it from you on wakala basis. We sign wakala contract. Wakala means you are giving us your money to invest on your behalf.
The way you want it.
See, now you're saying, when you're signing the contract wakala, you know what banks do. We do the business of financing other people. So now you're saying use this money in the halal business that you are doing. Whatever return you earn, share it with me. That's all. As ukija bank leo, you say, I have 50 million I want to put in a fixed deposit, I want to save with you. Banks wanakuambia, maybe on average you can pay this, because we know. Like today, if someone comes to buy a car, we know our profit rate is around 15-16%. So we tell you out of the 16%, we can sacrifice to kulipe 7%. So some people negotiate. It's all we say. So what we are doing is, we are just taking your money, then we invest on your behalf.
We pay you something.
We pay you something. Or we can do it Mudarabah. In Mudarabah again, you give us the money, you become Rabbul Mal, become the Mudarib, we work with the money, we get the profit, we share it with you. Then today we can also invest the money through Murabaha, liquidity Murabaha. So in liquidity Murabaha, we can even tell you the profit rate with certainty, because we are doing something very certain. We're saying we are buying these seats and selling in the market at this much. So from this, your profit is this much. So what makes it different from the other one is where you invest the money. Being paid is not haram in itself. Where we're being paid from is what makes it haram. Secondly, the contract. Al-Muslimuna ala shurutihim. If the contract that we enter is haram, the process become haram. We enter into a halal contract, which is fair. We invest the money in a halal business in a fair manner. We get the returns and share the returns with you. That's how you earn from your savings account. Today, Muslims have really made so many halal things haram to themselves, and they've made so many haram things halal to themselves. We've really mixed things up. So some are just really suffering. Yesterday, I met a Muslim businessman who has been having his money in a conventional bank. So he says every month he gets some interest and he gives it out. We're asking him, you can put it in an Islamic bank and earn something halal, which you can give in sadaqah if you want to, claim money or consume it.
Okay, now we are talking much, I think, on the loan side. So most people, when it comes to Islamic banking, the first question is,
No.
how charge interest, charge profits.
No.
So what is the difference between profit and interest? And keeping in mind the rates are mostly the same, the rules are almost the same, because when you go to a conventional bank, as a customer, you have no say. Unaambiwa to sign up. Okay, enda nyumbani, wait for our call. Is it the same with Islamic bank? Does a customer have a say? Mimi nataka interest ama profit plan. I want to pay this in some specific period of time. Or the client has no say there. It's just the bank decides for when giving out loans.
It depends. In some situation you don't have a say. In some you have a say. Just like in your business here, in the wholesale I can bargain. The supermarket I can't bargain. The people bargain in the supermarket. Halal supermarket. You pick whatever you want. You come to the counter. You can't tell the cashier, this one I want to pay. So just taking your business as an example, you have a section that you can bargain at the wholesale side. You have the supermarket side that you can't bargain. Even in banking, Islamic banking, in some instances people bargain. Like you want to take a working capital, you can say if there's processing fee, please, why don't you waive it for me? And then this profit rate is 16.5. Can you make it 15? People do negotiate, but in most cases, banks don't sit unless you're a very loyal customer. You've been known for time. Secondly, banks do pre-negotiation these days. Pre-negotiation means based on your risk profile, you've already been priced. We say if Halal Charity TV comes and it is owned by the same owner of Lama wholesalers and Halal supermarket, then his credit rating is this good. For him, we can make it 13%. Then there's another person that, let's say, for instance, my brother Athman here comes. Athman, his credit history is not very good, and so his pricing becomes higher. So there's that pre-negotiation that's already been done. These days in banks, there's no fixed. Where's the ambiguity? You're taking working capital, kill up to 15. Everyone has different pricing. Maybe that's what you've
So there's no difference between the conventional and Islamic banking there, as far as the rates are concerned. Both sides, Yani, it's not fixed. One client can have a higher rate.
Yes.
Another client can have a lower rate.
Yes.
Okay, now when it comes to payment,
Yes.
does a customer have a say? You guys say, we are giving you this, we are buying a house for you. You pay in 48 months. The client say, no, I want 60 months. Ama nye mshajiekea, ikiwa ni gari, maximum is this much. So the client has no room to maneuver that.
Actually, the person who has the say is the customer, not even the bank. And here's why. You want to get a facility of 100 million, for instance, and you tell us, I want to pay within 2 years. We look at all your cash flows and all your ability, you cannot pay that money in 2 years. So we tell you no.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Based on your cash flow, the best you can pay, this facility is 10 years. Unfortunately, for this particular product, we don't have a 10-year period. So the repayment, first of all, every product has its role. For this one, maximum period is 3 years. For motor vehicles, maybe 6 years. For a house, it can go up to 25 years. So because the business has to be modeled. Secondly, if you go today even to these motor vehicle dealers who are giving people on lipa mdogo mdogo, they are modeled. For trailers, they say for trailer you can pay up to 24 months pole pole. For small car, maximum they give you is 5 months. So this is a business. It's not even a Sharia issue. It's a business issue. So based within that, the bank tells you, from what we are seeing, on your ability, this is the best period for you to pay. So it's something that comes from both sides, but primarily determined by the customer's financial ability. In banking, when you're analyzing a customer, there's something called Campari. Campari, one of it, we look at the ability. What is your ability? Do you have the ability to pay within 1 month, 1 year? Or can you pay within 10 years? Secondly, for instance, you've come to a bank and you want to take a facility based on your salary. And you want the facility for 10 years and you're 55 years old. You're retiring in the next 5 years. So the bank will tell you no. You yourself are retiring in 5 years. Why do you want to? Why will you get the money after retirement? So there are a number of things. But for me, the bottom line is al-Muslimuna ala shurutim. Everything is based on how we agree. But now, if you say I want to pay within 10 years and come and pay early, now the bank will not tell you no. We said 10 years, don't pay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the profit rate that Islamic banks charge, it's mostly, remember we said there's no favor, no barrier. So it's mostly benchmarked. We say, but of course, like Murabaha, for instance, when the other rate changes, central bank ikiongeza ile inaongezeka, Islamic inabaki pale. But now for purpose of benchmarking and even administration, we say Murabaha facility rates will be the average rate. So it can be the same as the other one, it can be different. What makes something haram or halal is not whether it is the same as the other one. What makes it haram or halal is what are you selling and what are you buying? Are you buying or selling money? Or are you buying goods or services? What you are buying is what determines. If I give you 1 billion shillings today, 1 billion, until you return the 1 billion with 1 shilling on top,
that's haram.
That becomes riba. But I can buy these seats at 100 shillings and sell to you at 10,000 shillings. Tukielewana. So now this one, the profit rate can be 7,000%, but it becomes halal. So it's not about the rate, it's about what are you buying, what are you selling?
The contract.
So I can give you a Murabaha contract at 5%. I can lend you interest at 5%. One becomes haram. If you allow, maybe I want to give a practical example. Say maybe I came to Mtwapa today, and I walk to a shop. My phone is stolen. They say I want to buy a shop and I don't have cash. So I come to your shop and tell you, Sheikh Bashir, I want to phone, but nitakulipa pole pole. Sina pesa kwa sasa. So you say which phone I want, Samsung, whichever, maybe Ultra S24.
Mm-hmm.
So you quickly tell me, just wait here. You go and get the Samsung from him at 25,000. Uniletea account ambaye bwana hii simu ndio hii 30,000. Nalipa within 3 months. So 3 months nakulipa 10,000 na maliza simu pesa yako. So you earn from me profit of 5% on the phone. A second scenario, I just want to buy a phone. So I tell you, Sheikh, nikopeshe 25,000. So you gave me a loan of 25,000, but you tell me at the end of the month utaniongezea 5,000.
30,000.
So utanirudishia 30,000. So I take your 25,000 from you and go and buy my phone. So in both scenario, I bought a phone.
One is haram.
In both scenario, I pay you 30,000 over a period of 3 months. In both scenario, umeniongezea 5,000. The first one, because of that activity, in the Sunnah, Allah created the heaven and the earth in 6 days. He could have said kun fayakun. But the Sunnah, ndio maana riziki yako imekadiriwa, lakini you have to work for it. Kuna vitu nyingi ambazo tunapata from our Sunnah. So the first one becomes halal, the second becomes haram. The rate is the same, the item you bought is the same, the period is the same, the two people are the same.
Okay, I have some few questions more here, inshallah.
Inshallah.
How does a central bank come in here?
Central bank is a regulator. I'm sure.
So for example, they tell you the basic rate that you guys should charge is, for example, 15%. So the top up is the banks that decide whether it's Islamic or non-Islamic. Am I right? And you cannot go below the 15% because the central bank will not allow you to do that.
You can go below. You can even give for free. They only stop you from overpricing. They protect the consumers.
Okay, so why do you follow strictly what the central bank is telling you? I've never seen an Islamic bank saying we are going below the, what do you call it?
Central bank rate.
Yeah.
What happens?
If it's allowed.
What happens is there are three senses here: the legal sense, the commercial sense, and the Sharia sense.
Mm-hmm.
If central bank says the base rate is, let's say, 8%, okay, that means it is just for protecting the customers. They protect the ceiling. That, although it has been opened again, it's been opened up. Initially, during the former government, they used to control what's the maximum you can charge for a loan. It can be, if the base is 9,
And that was very good.
you can only charge 9 plus. But you see, it was affecting the economy because banks could not lend to risky borrowers. Because if your price is low, you become very careful who you lend to. Because if people default, so now the risk-based pricing has opened up. So that control, of course, there's some ceiling, of course, still. So the best rate plus. But if any bank today says we want to lend for free, it's your money, no one will stop you. What central bank is controlling is exploitation of that's the intention behind it. So they give a general guide. So we have banks giving Qard Hasan today in this country. If today, let's say, I know one of the bank, maybe you want to buy a school bus or something, equipment. So in some instances, they even give Qard Hasan. You take $1 million, you return $1 million. So central bank does not tell you charge interest. What they're telling you, msipite hapa. You remember during Moi's time, there used to be price control. So if as a shopkeeper want to give you a sugar for free, will Moi come and tell you must? But Moi says, sukari sipite?
Bei fulani.
That's what central bank is doing. So they're controlling, so that, imagine, there was a time in this country, I'm sure you remember, because you are a banker, there was a time you used to charge 35% interest in Kenya, 35. So banks are, if you're not controlled, they can easily form a cartel and start overcharging. So that central bank is coming to protect the consumers. But it doesn't really stop anyone. So number two, well, the reason I'm saying there's a commercial sense in that is, commercially speaking, if you charge only 8% profit, will you be able to survive? Leave alone banks in your wholesale. Let me give you an example, because you're all business people here.
Yeah.
If you buy a crate of water, the half a liter water, how much do you buy it from the distributor?
Let's say 300 shillings.
How much do you sell it?
360, 350.
Okay, 360. Then how long does it take to sell that crate?
Well, it depends on the business. Sometimes you can sell it within a day. You buy it today and tomorrow it's finished. You take another one.
Okay. So maybe Asma, you can calculate for us. 60 shillings as a profit on 300. What percent is that?
20%.
Let's do it practically. I want to show you something.
It's 20%.
20%? No, can't be 20.
So 300,
60
10%.
on 300, yes. 16%. 16%. So if you're selling on average after a day, how many times will you have bought within the year?
So many times.
If it's after a day, it will be 365 divided by 2.
180.
180 times. 16% multiplied by 180. 16 multiplied by 180.
2880.
2000, you're actually charging profit of 2,880% on that water per annum. But you're telling the bank, charge me only 8%. You're charging 2,800%. If I tell you to charge 8%, just take 8% as an example. If you charge 8% on that water today, you'll close your wholesale after 1 month.
So that's why the central bank helps you not to go below a certain amount of rates.
No, they don't control the floor. They control the ceiling, so that you don't overcharge.
You don't kill us.
Yes. So they don't. If you give it for free, they have no problem. They don't control the floor. It becomes illegal. In fact, if you want to reduce price, every bank, if you introduce a new product, you have to go to central bank to get their approval. If you want to change the pricing upwards, you seek approval. If you want to change the price downwards, you don't seek approval. So the issue of central bank is really, they're just there to protect, because everything money in this country is under central bank. Even M-Pesa is under central bank. The forex bureaus under central bank. The money remittances, the likes of the Habshil and others, are under central bank. Anything money
is controlled.
Even the money in your pocket is actually printed by central bank and given to the government on loan, on interest. Everything food is under public health. Everything insurance is under insurance regulatory authority. Everything investment is under capital markets authority. Everything health is under Ministry of Health or the Poisons and Pharmacy Board. So every sector has a regulator. Banks have central bank. Central bank is not a bank. It's a department of government. Just like blood bank is not a bank.
It's a bank to the bankers.
Yeah, because sometimes on last resort, conventional banks borrow from central bank. For Islamic banks now, unfortunately, you don't have those tools. We just go back to our customers, or we go to other Islamic bank to just get liquidity support from each other.
Now, the next question is, when you talk of Islamic banking, it says halal. And the source of the funds that makes it halal, let's say from ABSA, where does it come from?
It's your deposits. The banks don't have capital, they use a deposit. If you want to open a new branch here, we just use the deposit.
No, so the deposits from the conventional side or the deposit from the Islamic side? Because you guys have a window, so definitely you need money to start the business.
Okay, what happens is, first of all, there are three issues here. The first issue is money in itself has no haram or halal. It's what you do with the money that becomes haram. If today we have in our account, on the conventional side, we have an account, in our account we have money for Kilifi County. We have some money for Kilifi constituency. We have money from Kilifi High School. We have some money from Pride Inn Hotel. This is the money in the conventional account. This money in itself haina haram. Pesa za wenyewe. Are you getting my point? So if I take this money which is in our account to open a new branch, what makes it halal haram? That's point number one.
Okay.
So the problem with us Muslims, we want to overthink. In a way, we are not supposed to overthink.
So no cause for alarm on that side.
There's no cause for alarm. That's number one. So the money that is in bank's account, this is pesa za watu. Just that they are on the wrong side of the balance sheet. Pesa za watu wa matatu. Someone has a matatu amefunga account on the conventional side. Matatu yake inamaliza kazi jioni analeta pesa zake. Mwingine kuna restaurant, mwingine kuna hii. The haram money maybe watu wa bana nini. Ukiangalia maybe utapata the percent is very small. And of course in Sharia compliant screening, we have rules. If the haram part of the business is more than 5%, it turns the business haram in terms of income. For instance, this house, if you in terms of renting, if more than 5% of the rent is coming from haram, those who are doing haram business, then the business becomes haram. In terms of lending, if the lending that you've done, more than 30% is from interest-based lending, then the entire lending becomes, there are some conditions Sharia has put, and we cannot talk about it now. That's number one. So the money that people have put in the bank, they're in billions. That's number one. Number two, in Riba today, last year, for instance, we closed there at 34 billion shillings.
You did what?
34 billion shillings in savings, people's deposits.
On Riba side?
Yes, on Riba side. So that 34 billion, you can use it to open any branch today. It's a lot of money. That's point number two. Point number three, which is controversial, especially in some quarters, is the source really doesn't matter. Because today in your wholesale, you don't ask someone where you got the money from. Do you do that?
No.
Put someone at the door, kona register. Madam Simama, what do you do? Haya, kona haramenda. You, what do you do? You don't do that.
So do you allow businesses that are not halal to open accounts with Riba? For example,
we don't open. No, we don't open. You know, we're talking about the source where you started the Riba from first. In terms of opening account and giving loans, we don't do business with those who are doing haram. So if today someone a Somali mzee comes and says, I want to buy a van to beba mira from Maua, we tell him no, can't open account for you and we can't give you loan. And if for some bad luck, maybe our way to uko kwa mashinani branch and no will open, and then we usually do Sharia audit. The Sharia auditor finds out all the income that came from that will be taken and given in charity.
Or you don't close the account?
Of course, the account, that's the first thing, but you know you'll have earned. What do you do with the income? So the account will either be shifted to the other side, the left-hand side, or we tell him whatever you're doing is contravention in Islamic. So we remove the ABSA uniform and tell him now as a brother, what you're doing is an Islamic. Okay. So there's a lot. So Islamic banking is not the way people really take it. It's something that's really men outside there are looking at it with a torch. Every day, every evening, every daytime. Scholars, for instance, in ABSA, I have scholars, Sharia board made of 5 scholars. And I know you have that question.
Yeah. Okay, another thing is the perception people have about Islamic banking. So many people don't know about Islamic banking. Hata ukitembea kwa streets ukiuliza watu, they don't know. What you guys are doing about it?
Okay, what we're doing right now is one of them.
This is too small, too little.
So we try as much as possible, like in Riba, for instance. I've been in this region since Saturday. We had sittings in Voi, in Taveta. We've had some in Mombasa. So we try and bring people. And then there's something we have actually introduced last year. We've told every branch in ABSA to adopt one mosque. So that now through that mosque we can bring in the imam. Let's say if the branch in Mtwapa adopt this mosque, I don't know what's the name of the mosque.
Gibran, the big mosque.
Yes, Masjid Gibran. So now through that mosque we can pull together all the imams in this area. We educate them Islamic finance. We did that in one in Mombasa. I think Athman organized. If imams, I think from the island, we brought them, all of them together. We educated them for half a day on Islamic finance. That's the first thing we do. We do a lot of workshop. Sometimes it's a bit little, but we give it our best. Secondly, you see, talabul ilm faridatun ala kulli Muslim. And Islamic banking is an example of fard kifaya. Seeking the knowledge of ibadah is fard ain. But on such knowledge, at least we need to have some people who are studying. Unfortunately, from what I came to find out from shuyukh, the old ones, the current ones, at least now there's opportunity. The old people are never used to study muamala. So sometimes ukimaliza soma muamala, what you go do back in Kenya. People are picking options and they're studying university Sharia. So everyone chooses to do fiqh or ibadah. So that ndarudi ya kwa imam hapa. So people never used, even the scholars never used to focus on muamala, because muamala is the business aspect of Sharia, the economic aspect. So tuko na watu wachache wamesoma masala ya muamala. But we are really trying, and then there are some universities, institutions have come up. For instance, my university where I've lectured for almost 8 years, Islamic University of Kenya, and I even started a college actually to train people on Islamic banking, Buruj Training Institute. The number of institutes are really coming up that are taking people through Islamic. Some actually doing for some quotas, like scholars, they're doing it for free. We don't actually charge imams to train them on Islamic banking. If an imam comes forward, we teach an imam or a sheikh for free. So long as you can prove that you are doing da'wah to the community, we teach them Islamic banking for free.
Like me now here, the way you're teaching me about.
Yes. So those ones we don't charge. And then number 3, what we are doing in ABSA again is we are sponsoring scholars. They say now there's a place that there's Islamic banking going on. We can just sponsor one day workshop. They say Mtwapa, we come and you are taken through a whole day of Islamic finance, and we facilitate everything. People get trained. It's a lot of work. The funny thing about Islamic banking knowledge is what I've seen is it's like you umepanguza this corner, when you reach the other corner imechafuka tena. You train this town, umeenda, you come back after 3 months, like I don't know, the knowledge gets erased or what. Maybe it's because it's not used every day.
Mnapotea sana.
No. What you don't do every day, you forget. Today, if you learn Arabic language
and you don't speak
it, you'll forget. You learn Islamic finance, you don't do it. That's why those who are in banking don't forget. They perfect. Those who are outside the banking, to train, then you come back 3 months later, people forget. So knowledge, and then maybe I just want to call upon people to support a project like this one, where we'll keep educating. And leo ukituita utuambie, we want you to come and give us one program every month to just train different topics.
In our channel here.
Yes,
I'm ready. We'll do that. We'll do that. Another issue is the Sharia board. Because all your products must go through the Sharia board. What do they do specifically?
The Sharia board are not bank employees. These are prominent Muslim personalities in the country who volunteer to just clarify what the bank is doing to the people, also guide the bank on what they are doing. So the first duty of a Sharia board is, first of all, to approve
The products.
Product, processes, and everything. Sharia board look at everything, product, and even the processes, how it's done, pricing. They look at everything. Secondly, they also do audit. Whatever they have approved, have you done the way they have said? So they have actually Sharia board have the right to impromptu visits and asking for files to check through randomly. The other work of Sharia board is dispute resolution. If someone feels aggrieved that he's not been treated in an Islamic manner, he goes to Sharia board. Maybe you are sick, and then your loan delayed, and you are charged penalty. You go to Sharia board. They intervene and say, no, this is such unfairly. Refund the penalties to him. So Sharia board have a lot of work in terms of being the bridge between the Ummah or on the KEBS, the Islamic Banking. KEBS wanakuja na confirm everything is okay. But the challenge now we have is Sharia board, they just draw the recipe for the food. They don't work in the kitchen. So how do we make sure that whatever they have written as the recipe, wakasema tukitaka biriani ya mbuzi, this is the recipe for preparing. How do we make sure now the people in the kitchen are using the same recipe? So these days in banks now we've introduced the position of Sharia manager, who's the secretary to the Sharia board, but an employee of the bank. So whatever they do now, the chef is in the kitchen now.
Yanaeleza.
Yes, and I make sure everything has been done the way they said it. For instance, in ABSA, we have me, the head of Islamic Banking. Then we have product development manager. We have the Sharia and audit manager. So the product, I tell that this product development manager, based on what I've seen, question I've seen, we might need a product to do this and this and this. So Sharia, the product manager develops the product. Then we take it to the Sharia manager to look at it. He said, this one looks okay. Then it is taken to the Sharia board. They look through and tell us, they actually usually reject most of our products. They tell us, no, we're not happy here. This one doesn't follow this principle of Sharia.
They have a say on
that. They are the only ones with the say. So that they have a say.
Benki haizisema sitotafuta pesa hapa.
No.
And keeping in mind that they don't have a banking background, how do they go through this? Wow, ni sheikh, yes.
You see, the sheikh, but they can talk. You explain to them. If they can't understand, then the customers will not also understand. Remember, they're not bankers, but they're scholars. So I'm saying, let's say we're introducing a new product to finance rice farming in cost. So now we tell this product will work this way. This way it will use this contract. The farmers will come. On this day we'll do that. So they look at all the processes and the contract applicable and say, this one the contract is okay, but the process has some illa in it. So rectify here. So now after back and forth, once they approve, now the Sharia manager, who's their secretary, now stands in the kitchen and watches if you are cooking what they said.
You now.
Yes. So the Sharia manager has that authority because he has a dual reporting. He reports to myself and also to the Sharia board. So he's protected, and then he has that is amana. Remember, we are all Muslims, and this is just asbab for our risk. So the Sharia board really have a say, a huge say. Their decision on Sharia matters is final. Even the bank board cannot overturn it. They cannot debate their say on. For instance, in La Riba, we have a Sharia charter. If you read that Sharia charter, you realize that whatever they deliberate does not have to go to the board for approval or anything. What they decide on Sharia matters is final. Secondly, they also have a say in the charity fund. If there's of course, in banks, there's some penalties for those who refuse to pay and yet they're able to. So the Sharia board, if someone feels like I was not able to, he can appeal to them. So they look at the case and everything, they ask the imam around here, and they're satisfied that actually you had a problem. They said this person had a problem, but you didn't have a problem. That penalty goes to a charity account. They are the only ones who can decide where the money goes. So they can say, give it to charity TV, halal charity TV.
Another thing is, do customers know about the role of the Sharia board? Like the last one that you have said, that they're arbiters, they can come and solve issues between customers and the bank. I'm hearing it for the first time.
There's a little bit of a gap on that. But whenever there's any interaction between bank and customers, we usually inform them in every forum. Actually, when the last time we did forum in course, we brought in the acting chief Qadi, Sheikh Sokian, who's one of our Sharia board member. He was in Malindi, and even in Mombasa. We hosted customers and scholars and told them, this is one of our Sharia board member. I'd like to
interview one of them here, inshallah.
Sheikh Sokian is around if you want. Today was the guest opening the new mosque in Masjid Uthman bin Affan in Mombasa. You can look for him. He's around.
Inshallah.
If he's going to be around over the weekend, you can get him tomorrow and interview him. He's our acting chief Qadi. The chairman of our Sharia board is the former chief Qadi, Sheikh Hamad Qasim. The other Sharia board member, Sheikh Ibrahim Lithome, we all know him.
Lithome, mashallah.
Sheikh Khalfan Khamis, Majid Sulama, chairman. We have Sheikh Abdurrahman Guhad, who's the imam in the Rangers Mosque in South Sea. He's also studying PhD in Sharia in Malaysia.
So kuna migogo hapo.
We have scholars and they're very, very strict. Very.
No, the issue is, does the Ummah know about that? Your point.
So the information...
That's where we come in as Halal Charity TV. We work with you guys. We tell the community about Islamic banking, their rights, anything.
Whenever we have contact with the customers, especially anyone who has doubts or questions, the next natural thing we should do is, these are Sharia board members, who do you want to talk to between this? Then we give them the phone number, they talk. So the customers actually get to know. Some don't. You see, the same way today, if you stop 10 Muslims in Mtwapa today, 10, 3 of them will tell you they have never heard of Islamic banking in Kenya.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you from the beginning.
Yes.
People don't know about Islamic banking. Anyway, kumalizia, what are the common myths that exist in Islamic banking?
A myth from which side? From the banking side or the customer side?
That you hear about Islamic banking.
Customers, of course,
misconceptions, if you like.
Some customers say there's nothing called Islamic banking. Some say there's no difference, nothing the same.
That's a common one.
Wengine wanasema hii interest na profit ni moja tu, ni jina tu imebadilishwa. Wengine wanasema the Islamic banking should be free. They think this is just a Baitul Mal where you just come and collect money, you don't have, you just return what you took.
Mm-hmm.
Some think that some sort of welfare, where Islamic bank should even paying some imams in some of the mosques because it exists here. So there are a lot of misconceptions that are around there. We try to remove them. But all the same, Islamic banking is growing faster than conventional. Last year in Kenya, we grew by 19.7%. That's almost 20%.
But still the penetration level is low.
It's low. Out of the close to 7 million bankable Muslims, we are just having less than 1 million who are banking.
Oh.
So we still have a long way to go, but we've come a long way also.
It started 2008, is it?
05.
05.
At Riba. So we're the pioneers. And actually, we're also the most profitable in the country right now.
On that window of Islamic banking.
Yes. We are actually, if you look at revenue that Riba is making, and you combine some of our fully fledged banks, all of them together, actually, we're bigger than them.
Okay. Does Riba Bank work with charitable trusts, NGOs, mosques, in projects like education, health?
We do. Like I said, Riba Banking does work with the community. We exist to work with the community.
For the community.
We also, yes, of course, we are a purpose-driven bank, first of all, as a bank. And profit making is not a purpose. We just make profit to be sustainable. But the purpose is to write stories for everyone. Want to see, we came here to Halal Supermarket, they were here, we helped them grow to this point, to help people progress. Secondly, we also have ABSA Kenya Foundation, which works with the community. Recently, there's a project we supported on the island, I think for some youth projects. We came in and gave support. Last year, a number of organizations, some in Garissa, some in Nairobi, in Mandera County. So we've really done quite a number. So on projects that have really impact on the community, that have merit, depending on availability of the fund, we come in and partner and do. But that's not to say that we are giving 100% guarantee that everyone who comes will get support, but we are also giving guarantee that every year we help dozens of organizations like this to move because the bank exists for the community. And the people who work in the bank are from the community.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And what is the future of ABSA, the Riba Bank in Kenya?
The Riba Banking, if you look at the trajectory that we've taken, we foresee moving La Riba to be networked across Africa. Remember, ABSA exists in 12 countries. So one of the things that we are trying to do is how do we, because majority of people in Africa are Muslims, we want to solution the whole of Africa through La Riba. I think there's no any other bank in this country that has biggest number of presence in other countries. I think the one that is closest to us is in 6 countries. We are in 12 countries. Secondly, we want to see from innovation perspective, we want to bring in, we brought in the digital lending, the cards. There are other things that now we're thinking of, like our own investment banking. It's already in the pipeline. Our own insurance, which the Sharia board has approved, and we are just trying to seek the regulator to come in and give us the support. We're trying to break the barriers between the 5 subsectors in an economy: banking, pensions, everything, so that as ABSA, La Riba now, we solution the whole of Africa innovation. We are having things like tokenization coming in. So how do we really come in through Islamic through Sukuk? Because once we form our own investment banking, now those products will be available. People from other countries can invest through tokenization. We are thinking of how do you, because scholars have debated digital currency, then how do you also join in terms of in the conversation? There are a number of things that we are thinking about, but over and above that is we want to have the 7 million Muslims that are able to bank in this country.
Banks.
To be aware of Islamic banking and to get a solution, because to us every story matters.
Kumalizia, how do you see Islamic banking shaping Kenya's financial sector?
Kenya is sleeping on a diamond mine. Because today, if you take just one product, Sukuk, Islamic bonds, just one, I see the country is really struggling to take loans from other countries and to pay the loans. If today, let's say the expressway between Mombasa and Nairobi, we bring in Islamic product, because the Islamic product works through investment. Let's say, suppose we collect money from, we issue Ijara Sukuk. Ijara Sukuk means the investors, we need 200, 300 billion, for instance. Then we look for investors to pull this money from them. Now, it is Ijara. They own the road. Lease. Now, the lease. So for the people using the road, they earn the rent. So when the government is ready, they have enough money, they return our money, and they take back the ownership of the road. There's no loan there. Hakuna debt. It's just an investment. We're just investing. So we are actually putting the country in a lot of debt when we can just do partnership. You can do Musharakah Sukuk. You can do Murabaha Sukuk. You can hold. People will earn. You know, the expressway is your day, so you know that. Now we can do the same Sukuk. We can build this stadium through Islamic REITs. All those malls that we are doing. So Islamic banking has a solution for the debt challenges that the country has. And we're really hoping, because there's some papers actually were done. And I'm actually happy to say that at one point I also interact with National Treasury a lot on Islamic finance, because there's a body called kina in National Treasury where I also advise on Islamic finance. So the papers are there, so they want the government to adopt. And I assure you, a lot of projects will be completed bila kuingia kwa madeni.
Sawa kabisa. Sasa kumalizia, what do you tell our viewers?
I only have one message for the viewers.
Huko tunafunga virago.
I tell them udkhulu fi silmi kafa. Verse of the Quran, where we have been told, if you're a Muslim, become a Muslim 100%. Don't be a Muslim wakati ya salah peke yake, then when you leave, you are going to your home, you're not a Muslim. When you're going to the bank, you're not a Muslim. When you're going to the hospital, you're not a Muslim. You allow your wife, a female patient being treated by a male doctor. Now we don't have shortage of our sisters, or a male person being treated by a female doctor. We have a lot of issues in the Muslim's life that we focus on very small. We are told, why do we focus on one part of the religion and then we leave the others? For me, it's all of Islam mikafa. Today, if you have a money in a bank that is not Islamic and you are a Muslim, what happens is that money is being used to lend on interest. There's no bank in this world that uses its money to give loans. So the 10 shillings that you've earned in a halal way, you put in a bank that is not Islamic, your money is being used to do the business of riba. So you become a sponsor. If you're becoming a Muslim, become a Muslim from the way you save your money, how you do your business, how you enter your house, the right leg, the salam, how you sleep on your bed, sleep on the right. Bismika Allahumma amutu ahya, udkhulu fi silmi kafa. Become a Muslim in everything that you like, because Islam is a deen. It's a total way of life, and we are told, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. Today we've completed the way of life for you. Assalamu alaikum.
Viewers, we have come to the end of our program. Alhamdulillah. We have had our guest, very eloquent. He has taught us a lot about Islamic banking. And inshallah, we are going to partner with you for more talks about Islamic banking and for more other issues about the community in general. Kwa hayo machache, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.